It's time for a cup of red, so let's fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. And now your over-caffeinated hosts, Mike and Katie.
And here we are, everyone, another exciting, spine-tingling adventure with Cup of Red. I'm Mike and
Katie.
And guess what? We're sitting here with some coffees because we went and just saw a movie.
Yes.
So how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm drinking coffee.
I'm drinking coffee. We're good.
Yeah.
We're drinking Starbucks today.
Yeah.
You know, and I really do like Starbucks still.
That is true.
We've been trying all sorts of different types of coffee.
But we did find a great place called Spent Grounds.
It's fantastic.
If you watched us on our story, you would have seen it. It's in our local area,
yes.
The Fraser Valley here, in the Great White North. For those not listening, and Great White North for a lot of them is not Game of Thrones related. It is Canada, British Columbia. We're just narrowing it right down so you can stalk us. You might already do.
I don't know. Yeah,
I stalk myself. That's why, you know.
But yeah, we really enjoyed this new place. It's an awesome local roastery, and we've been drinking their coffee for sure. We had that this morning, so we're gonna change it up. And
we got something quick out after we did some errands.
After our movies. And
after we went and saw. What did we see?
We saw Pet Sematary.
That's right. We jumped into Dead is Better, and we're gonna talk about that, but not right now.
But first up, we're going to talk spoilers on Us and Shazam.
Yeah, Us and Shazam. We're gonna kind of spoil all over your face, or as last,
Shazam all over your face.
Yeah,
that's what it was. I like that better.
So I
think it should always be Shazam all over your face.
There we go. That's how he's gonna have to call down the lightning. Shazam all over your face.
I can just parody right there.
Right? It's probably already made.
It's probably already made. So. Okay, let's just rewind that one and jump right into the meat. That didn't help anything.
And potatoes. The Franken beans.
Okay.
We haven't been, I guess, vulgar enough in the last few episodes, so... But here we go. A couple episodes ago, we did our Us and Shazam. We kept it really short and sweet, but I want to talk a little bit about them in this episode. It's been far enough away now from Us.
Yeah, we wanted to give us a chance to not have too many spoilers on there. And, even the other day, I was talking in the store.
Really loudly.
I was talking a lot, and Mike's like, wait a second, you can't spoil things. Oh, crap, the movie Shazam hasn't even come out yet.
Just came out, right?
Yeah.
So
anyways.
But here's some spoilery, almost spoiler ideas.
Spoilers. Sorry, Mike always gets to do the cool stuff.
No, it was awesome.
Spoilers.
It reminded me, it was like Teen Titans Go.
It was.
And now with the spoilers, right? But, okay, so Us. I really wanted to mention about how, originally we said it was like a straightforward horror movie and all that. There's not a lot of layers to it. That's true. On the surface and everything, that is what it is. It is purely a monster movie. But the beauty, I think, of what Jordan Peele had done is he had crafted a film that there's layers to it. Even though the baseline you can just watch and enjoy as a certain way, you can then look at it and see another thought of it. It's got like the plight of the rich and the poor, having those two worlds, especially where the Jeremiah 11:11 worshiping of false gods and a false
because you looked up and you wanted to see what the 11:11 stood for. The idea.
So knowing that there's people that worship that and the idea of the false gods. Well, so many of us as people, we always want what we can't have, being that people with more money and all that. And you look at the difference in those lives, and everyone that was a part of the untethered and all that were the poor, and they wanted to be out among, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you can also see it somewhat in the vein of a racial idea as well, too, right? The uprising led an underground railroad.
You could see it that way. And with the use of the tunnels aspect of that, he talks about all of the uses of those. So,
So I thought that was kind of an interesting...
Well, even if he didn't intend to it most likely is partially there, right?
I think, honestly, everything he does has a purpose.
Yeah.
Especially with putting Chud right there,
Well, it shows,
cannibalistic humanoid underdwellers right there, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, those purposes with all that, then that he cares about those details.
Yeah, exactly. And you go through and you can see so many different little Easter eggs that are nods to things throughout the time frame and all that. They even make note of a lost boy Easter egg because they were filming on the pier at the same time where the girl goes, disappearance, right? So there's a lot there that you don't really notice, but you notice, but you don't really.
Well, then the more you sit back and you think about it and you talk about it, you're like, oh, there was that and there was that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And I liked how it did flip the script with the father. He was a comic relief, right?
Yes.
And usually in a horror movie, who dies first?
Yeah, and it would have been the other way around.
Right? And he lives, right? And I thought that was really cool. You know, it was interesting too to see some of those scenes and like he gets the first, like when they fight about who had the most kills, right? Like
it was so ridiculous,
right? Like you could tell they were so broken by that point where they were just like, oh my god, like
I can't believe we're discussing this, but
well, I got this one, I got this. Well, I got two, so.
So you guys can suck.
Right. So I thought that was it was a fun bit of that comedic element of like we're in a shitty situation, but you know, hey, that calm, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot more of a real life feel, right? It's almost that switch of like, this is our life now, and to try to accept it. And what would real people do? We would try to find something humorous to rationalize the insanity that we're dealing with, right?
Well, also too, you look at how much with all the rabbits and all that going down into the rabbit hole, and when
the first thing I thought of with the rabbit was the Alice.
Well, and think too, when she places her hand on Adeline's head when she's pushing her into the table, right? And the mirror cracks, the glass cracks and all that. Right?
It was the idea of pushing it into the mirror and everything.
You know, you're breaking that point where you're going into another.
That's a good idea.
So. You know, and then with that twist, now we can say the twist. If you don't want to hear this, quickly pause and skip ahead a bit. But the idea that the good and the bad, they flipped.
Yes.
Right? You know, the little girl went down and became the bad guy. Because what happens in the movies is that when the original girl goes down, the untethered, they switch places.
Yeah, they switch places in the mirror, the House of Mirrors there.
Yeah.
And you don't find that out. But then, so it's now the original human girl is now down with the untethered world.
Exactly. And she was choked. That's why she couldn't speak or had a really raspy, horrible speaking voice.
Yes.
Right? And that's why the little girl had to learn, and they just thought she had PTSD.
But she didn't know how to speak at the time.
Yeah, and she had to learn it.
And then, because you make a good point afterwards, the fact that it made sense that whole time that why could she talk out of all the untethered? No, everyone else just made croaking sounds.
Yeah.
And animalistic sounds, and yet she could talk. Even if it sounded creepy, she could still talk fully.
Exactly.
And it's like, wait, why is she different like that?
Exactly.
Well, that's why. She wasn't actually an original untethered.
And that's
She's just
why
completely shattered, right?
And that's why that whole uprising happened. So,
exactly.
But definitely, it's such a great film. And I can't wait to watch it so many times. So definitely, if you haven't already, check it out.
Yes.
Like, even though you might know some spoilers, you're going to have a good time finding all those Easter eggs.
Agreed.
We saw it a couple weeks ago. We told you our first initial reaction to it. Now it's just in theaters now. Hopefully, if you did go see it, you're talking about it. But, say my name.
Shazam!
That's right. Shazam came out. And there we go. Now we're going to dump some spoilers all over your face.
Oh, yeah, we haven't
been crude for a while, so there it is. Bam!
Shazamming all over your face.
Shazam.
That is fantastic. That should be a new thing.
Well, we just did it.
We just did it.
So,
I don't know. You want to take that however you want.
We just Shazammed all over you. Right in your ear.
And on that note, back to...
So, my initial thoughts when I saw it, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it, right? So, thinking about it over the time and all that, I still had a good time, but it still for me is lacking. And I found that, unfortunately, Funko spoiled the end of the movie.
Yes.
Because they pulled a Lego.
Yes.
And if you don't know, Lego likes to spoil movies.
All the time.
All their sets will get dropped before the movie comes out. And
you're like, oh, this is going to happen. Okay.
Yeah. But Funko dropped the Shazam family.
So you knew
way before the movie was out.
Yep.
A week before the preview thing came out, they were out, and you knew when I was watching it.
You're like, at some point
they're all going to get the powers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you were just waiting for it to happen.
Mm-hmm. And that's what really bugged me.
Yeah. And then it seemed to almost draw out. It took forever because then I was just waiting for it to happen. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like how long is this going to take? Like the Ferris wheel. Oh my God, it took forever. It started driving me crazy.
That Ferris wheel scene was pretty hard.
Yes.
And I think that's the hard thing with a lot of the DC movies. You get those really awesome scenes in almost all their movies from Man of Steel and up, and then they kind of, when you go back and think about them and talk, you start finding a lot more of the problems, which really is sad, because DC, when it comes to the comics and all that, is more my number one read.
Yes.
Right?
We're definitely both DC fans first and foremost.
Yeah. And when it comes to animation, DC.
Yeah.
Right? So it's hard to see some of it treated the way that doesn't seem as respectful. But Shazam and all, I did enjoy. I think Zachary Levi is a shining star in this movie.
Yeah, he did a great job, I think. He really played the silly but the charismatic, trying to be good, but he really played the goofy kid trying to be the big guy.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah, and that is the whole reason to buy a ticket, is to watch that.
Yeah.
That alone. Bad guy and all that, unfortunately, it was pretty weak, and there was a lot of moments where it was kind of confusing, like his true motives and all that, and it felt very thrown together. Like, he wasn't a super strong bad guy, and we're just all sitting here going, you got The Rock as Black Adam. When are you going to use him?
Yes.
When are you going to use The Rock?
Speaking of that should have been the end scene.
Yes.
The credits.
Yes. There should have been some tie to Black Adam.
Yes.
Mr. Mind was cool. It was cool that they're going into the weird realm of the little talking caterpillar.
Because our son was like, the caterpillar's talking.
Right?
But yeah, it would totally missed a mark. I was waiting, honestly, when I saw that scene and someone was talking, I was waiting for Black Adam to show up somehow.
Yes, well,
Even
the way
if that had been,
the
that's what I thought.
scripture that he was putting on the wall,
Yes.
and the mumblings that Zhivago, or how you say his name was mumbling and all that.
Yeah.
I was full expecting like a bolt of lightning to come crashing down in Egypt and Shazam and a Black Adam to crawl out from the wreckage.
Yes.
You know, so that's where I was hoping, but we got Mr. Mind instead,
Yeah.
which it was a little like, we'd already seen him as an Easter egg, and we already saw him.
Yeah, because I noticed it. I'm like, they purposely showed this caterpillar, and then they showed him gone. I'm like, I don't know who it is, and that's the problem though, is I don't know Shazam comics at all, and
To
so
get
that
excited for
that
it.
end scene was like, whatever. That didn't.
Right.
Other than it was weird.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so why? Is
Like,
this?
I give them props for doing something
Yeah,
weird.
because he said, like, I'm the most powerful thing. And I'm like, okay, so what is this guy? So yeah, maybe it's making me interested in it, the idea. But it wasn't so much of like the whoa.
Yeah.
So.
I worry about having to delve with two different actors to play all those characters, seeing as they dove right into the Shazam family in the first movie. How is that going to affect a sequel?
So how are they going to have people that go off, and especially Mary? Mary's the only one that I know of too.
Yeah.
But then she's the oldest one that makes the most sense of leaving and going to school.
Right. So
then how do they
it'd be
manage all
confusing
that?
to see how they're going to go into a sequel for that. But I'm excited to watch it again in some form. Like, I will enjoy it, but it's low expectations still
Well, because
for
you know,
it.
and honestly, our son still really enjoyed it, but it goes to show then how relatively simple it was for a story too.
Well, he just liked the idea that he was just like, damn, I could be a superhero.
Yeah, so
Right?
it was a fun, it was a kid thing for him, right? And so I appreciate that he could really enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some things that were missed.
For me, it was the CG. It really bugged me. It's still bugging me. Some of that flying CG just did not look good. So Shazam's still going in the right direction.
Yes.
But DC still has a lot of ground to make up. And now there's...
Oh, it's not getting...
Well, the worst thing was they showed Superman, but they didn't show who was in the super suit.
Yeah, it was so... Again, it was like,
did he come back for a cameo? No, they just cut off his head wherever it was.
Yeah, because you know what? Honestly, that scene would have been so much cooler if it had actually been Cavill.
He had sat down at the table.
Yeah,
and
that would have been... Because I miss him.
Right? That would have been awesome.
So,
and now Ezra Miller's walked as well, so now they're going to recast. But the thing that bugs me is that Shazam directly talks about all the events that's happened before. He talks about stuff that he mentions, that Superman died and came back.
Yeah,
there's posters of the Flash, and there's things of Batman, and there's Wonder Woman, and newspaper clippings. So how is they going to make this move forward this? You know, and even Levy has said he wants to be in the Justice League, but yet Warner just says Justice League won't be happening anytime soon.
No, he won't be able to. I don't see it happening. So poor guy got on too late for it, and but who knows? We'll see how it goes. Overall, still enjoyable.
A fun movie, but it's not as strong as I was hoping it to be.
Agreed.
Sometimes dead is better. Or is it? There we went and we saw Pet Sematary, the new reimagining of Stephen King's Pet Sematary novel.
Yes.
So, what were your first thoughts on it, Katie?
So for me, I had never seen the original story, and I've never read the novel, so this is just a completely new take. I didn't know what to expect whatsoever, other than just, the few brief trailers, and overall, I did enjoy the film. There was a lot of jump scares for me. My only issue was it wasn't as kind of skin crawling like the trailers made me feel like it was going to be. So if I think about my expectations, it did kind of disappoint, and it's kind of there. I haven't made up my mind if I care to watch it again or if I don't. During the movie, though, I was never like, oh my god, is this the end, or make it stop. So it wasn't like I disliked it, but it was kind of there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Throughout it, I didn't feel like, please God, make this end. I loved the book, and I had my moments of questioning my remembrance of the book.
Were you tripping balls during it?
A little bit, yeah, because there was a few moments where I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right, and all that's because I'd seen so much of the marketing that it said that it was the most faithful adaptation.
I call lies.
Right? Initial thoughts is it's a decent movie. There is some good setup and scene and eeriness, but every scare is based off a jump scare.
Yes.
Now, which is weird for me to say because I kind of like jump scares in movies because they catch you off guard.
Yeah.
But some of these, you could see it coming. Mm-hmm. And for me, being a fan of the novel, not so much the original movie, but more of the novel, I was let down.
Yeah.
And which was kind of sad because I was really excited to go see this one.
Well, the only one you couldn't see coming was the first one, which I think I got air off of my chair.
Yes,
that first jump scare was terrifying.
Yeah.
And nothing ever lived up to that. Like I thought I flew off my chair, which was hilarious. I was just laughing at myself.
Well, the noise from that truck in that very first one, was insane, and that was the loudest moment in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Right, and it took you off guard.
Yeah.
And it was the biggest kind of like, oh my god moment.
Right. So it was there.
Yeah.
Before details, so what types of things worked for you and what didn't?
I did enjoy the creepy ambiance in it.
Yeah.
Throughout it, like they did a good job with the use of the fog and some of the shots and all that. Mm-hmm. Honestly, John Lithgow was the strongest part for me.
He was my favorite
and
part.
I wish we could have seen more of Judd.
Well, because you kept waiting for him to be the bad guy, and I was waiting for him to be the creepy old man. He was kind of set up like that, but then he had an immediate softness to him, and I really enjoyed his character, and it made me really sad to see the pain that he was going through.
Yeah, and what's sad is that there was so much more from the novel that could have been used that was never used.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me. Is his story
is slashed down because you don't get to know about his wife in the movie. Spoilers.
Well, and you know what's funny too is that full on spoilers now, I guess. Was that then it didn't have, knowing that now afterwards when you tell me that she should have been part of the story more, when her spirit comes back in a form, then I don't feel anything. No. It's like, oh, okay, you did this, and well, how, I don't know anything about that, so why should I care? Yeah. It meant nothing, and so that was it felt like it was a big chunk of the movie that was a deleted scene, like where's the director's cut? Right, yeah, no, totally. And that's not good, right?
And that idea where you could have had those moments and you miss out on all the relationship building between Judd and Creed over beers and drinks that they had over the time where he takes care of his wife and this, that, and this, that he kind of comes across like a grandfather figure to the family.
A lot more of a closer relationship.
Yeah, you miss out. Like they kind of crammed it in really quickly, so it made him. Yeah, the movie made him seem like he was creepy.
Exactly.
Right. And I said cram it in and I twisted my fist.
And so that's one of those times I wish the video was, sorry. Some of Mike's body movements when he talks his violin was just hilarious. We're missing out on some prime stuff here.
But he was the best part of it. I thought, honestly, with the trailers, I thought they were going to go in a different direction with the children in the masks. Yeah. And there was
the one scene. Yeah. And then there was the newspaper article and then her wearing the mask once and that was it.
Yeah, so it was a big letdown. The other thing too
is like with the mom's sister and that whole story, like I can see the idea of her being haunted by something, but because I didn't know anything about it, I was waiting for her to like brought some horrible spirit with her and the idea of following people around, because what I wanted to whisper to you afterwards was, what we have learned from all of these movies, you don't ever get to just slow down and move out to the country and start over in a house. It never works.
fan.
out. Your shit follows you everywhere you go.
Yep.
And that's what I was thinking during the movie. And then I'm like, well, okay, at the same time, though, it was something that she was not dealing with, but it really didn't help with what was going on out there. The same shit would have happened to her no matter what.
In the book, that's one of the things that's in there, where she's haunted about that stuff. So that was there. So I don't, you know.
But like, why did they choose that when they seem to have missed out some of the important stuff that would have happened about the current event?
Exactly.
Right? Because it had no bearing, really.
No, those were the moments that felt bogged down, that they kept cycling through those. Yeah, because like, I know,
I'm assuming it was the pretext for her to not want to tell her daughter about to confront death.
Yeah.
And so that was part of it. But at the same time, that would have been easy enough to just believe that a mom doesn't want to have her child experience that. It's easy enough without assuming that something traumatic happened and she's haunted by some horrible thing, right?
Yeah.
So
the biggest thing that I liked about it was the sets. It was very creepy and eerie.
Yes.
And I liked that look of it. So what for you? What worked for you?
I did like the forest. I like the sounds from the forest.
It's just a loon.
Oh, that was terrifying, right? I really like John Lithgow's character. Judd was really good. Some of those jump scares were really good. The creepy, guy that got in the car accident just showing up. It was unnerving for sure that he was there. I didn't quite understand some of it of why he was there at first. It kind of felt a little disjointed.
Yeah.
And I know that being Stephen King, there must have been a reason for it in the original story. Any of that, like that. So even during the movie, I'm like, okay, there has to be a better explanation for this of why it's affecting them now.
Yeah,
and I didn't really feel like I got
him being haunted though in the.
I didn't really feel like, so it's a bit of a disjointed, and I think I'm like, this is all flushing through now as I speak about it. And so I liked some of it, and then I didn't like some of it.
Yeah.
Being, not gonna lie, emotional mom comes out, and then I have that panic moment about the kids and you feeling bad for the little boy being haunted by this horrible thing, and of course all this horribleness that happened.
Yeah.
And so it makes me, kind of want to, hug my son more and everything like that. But, and then the horrorness, I like that. The horror of having to lose a kid and everything is just unprecedented. So you appreciate and see where he goes to, and it's disturbing, but you can justify it. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, it's just really out there, right? So,
yeah. Well,
anyways,
big spoiler wise,
yes,
is that Gage is not the one that goes in the dirt.
Yeah, that's kind of a big change there.
They decided to go for his sister, his older sister, and that really was a twist for me. And that's when I started having my head scratch moment.
Yeah.
And that's where I started getting confused.
It all went downhill from there.
I was just like, what? Hold on, wait.
What? So you like the sets and everything. So other than everything being different about the story, is there anything that really stood out as a problem for you?
How long it took to get to it, and then it felt very rushed, right? Like it went like it was setting up, and it was eerie, and we had those loud noises and these bumps and those sounds, and then it was just like, oh, she's dead in the ground, and Finn.
You know what? Speaking of the end, though, it ended corny to me. It ended with a big happy zombie family. I'm sorry, major spoiler on that one. But big happy zombie family.
Like that.
And I'm like, really?
That really bothered me.
That was the only time where I did have that. What the fuck?
Yeah, that I was, because the music.
And it was sad because it ended on such a weird note. Then well, the more I talk about it, just the rating is dropping for me.
They tried to give you that same ending that was in the book, but I think it failed because the only one that survives is Gage.
Yeah, so how is that going to happen?
Right? They're just going to kill him and bring him back.
Yeah.
So like, are they setting up to create like some weird zombie apocalypse, Wendigo zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was, and it bugged me because, as I say, it was so different, and there was so much promise to it. Mm-hmm. It was so dark and menacing feeling.
Yeah.
Like, you never really feel an ounce of happy in the movie. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel depressed almost while you watch it.
I was expecting more death things. Like, we thought maybe like the children, the procession was going to be like zombie, or I expected more animals,
ghost, and
more spirits in general. Being the cemetery idea and that location, I was expecting more hauntings, and it was like literally nothing. There wasn't even a ghost. It was just the mom's conscious and her regret.
Yeah.
That was haunting her. It wasn't even actually a spirit.
Yeah.
And
that was, yeah.
Except for the guy that got in the car accident. So why was he haunting him? Like, it made no sense. That one really bothers me, apparently.
There you go. There's your bitch moment. We've decided that Katie has a bitch don't touch that moment, and there it was, the car accident guy. Bitch, why'd you get hit by a car?
Well, it's like there's no other. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it really is. I turn into rage. Everything's wonderful in rainbows, or it's fucking rage.
Rage. Fucking rage.
But, there was no other spirit haunting anyone. There was zombie people, and that was it. Why was there a damn ghost in it?
Yeah.
That made no sense.
That was giving him all the hints why he shouldn't do what he was going to do in the future.
Yeah, why was there a warning at all? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
I don't... So...
Well, yeah. The more... Like, as I say, I had that moment where I had to run back and like refresh on the differences because I was tripping. I was literally sitting there going, "Why is like something?" It was like the timeline split.
I can remember both realities, and it's breaking my mind.
And so you go back and you see everything that was different, and then I tried to reconcile with, well, it's a different take. Try to go for it what it is. But I at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, it bugged me the stuff that was missing, and the stuff that they changed.
You know what? Honestly, this is a certain time for me, other than the ending, because the ending and the ghost still bothered me. But it's interesting how this like ignorance is bliss feel, because you told me about the stuff and then I get irritated about it, and I was like, well, it could have been more, but it wasn't.
Well, they could have kept it the same running time, and it could have been the same, like they could have done the exact same things, but they could have, I don't know.
They could have dropped other things out about it.
Yeah, there was stuff that they were trying to do, and as I say, usually jump scares I like. Because they're like, boom, oh my god, because I don't really go for the psychological thriller.
You're not one to be really, truly creeped out about something.
I need something to like smack me in the face to scare me.
Yeah.
And this one, the lead up to it, I was literally sitting there going, okay, and 3, 2, jump scare.
They didn't even have
except for the truck at the beginning.
Those moments where it was going to be like, you expect a jump scare and it didn't, so then it throws you off guard of being able to expect things.
Yes.
Every single time you thought there was going to be one, there was.
And it was the actual one. Yeah, it wasn't like you said. It wasn't like a fake out.
Yeah,
and
there was no fake outs, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was a part, because we had gotten kind of used to that. Even some of the Conjuring series has some of those.
Yeah.
And I think that series and that world is where I judge my horror movies.
Well, they give you they're a more real jump scare feel, and they've used it to a almost cinematic perfection.
Yes,
because they have you on edge, right,
the entire time,
and
right?
Yeah.
And it could have been creepier for sure. To me, it almost pulled a little bit more at my heartstrings about losing the idea of a pet or a child. Those types of things, which has a good depth to the story, and it was well done for those types of things. It was just not what I was expecting from it more than anything. So
I don't know.
It made me miss my kitties and be all sad, because I have a long time before I have to deal with this, but it still made me sad. And it made me happy that I don't have outdoor cats.
Right. Yeah. So all in all, let us know what you think, but I wasn't impressed with it.
Apparently we were very not impressed by it.
I don't need more gore. I just need more eerie.
Yeah.
And if they had taken those little ghost kid things or procession thing off into a new realm and changed it a little bit more.
Because that was creepy. That procession was creepy.
Yeah.
But also oddly intriguing. Like, why don't we have little processions? I'm not going to lie. I had the first moment, I'm like, I'd do that.
Halloween, here we come.
Yes.
Paper mache, bunny mask, kitty masks.
That would be amazing, and we'll just walk around the neighborhood with a basket, hitting up. Oh my goodness, it's totally happening. That's happening now.
Oh, now you said it. Now we're gonna have to do it.
Now we
can't
have
do
to
anything.
do it. Anyways, okay.
See, I already promised I was gonna walk around as a giant Pikachu.
That is true. We think of so many Halloween things that we're like dead set on, and then none of them ever seem.
We usually wait until a week before Halloween,
and then we're like, what do we do? But I really do like the giant Pikachu. But well,
I figured then I would just be able to say to kiddo Pika Pika
then
when people are around, chill. And then I can be like, hey, what are you doing?
Where's my coffee?
So,
anyways, okay.
So there we go. Pet Sematary, us, Shazam, a whole schmozzle in your face and ears for your enjoyment. Let us know what you think. Get ready, because next week is What the Hell Boy?
Yes.
So we're going to go into that.
Thanks for joining us.
And have a marvelous day.
Thank you for listening. Love this episode of Cup of Rad? Please subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more rad content.